As long as my lighter is here. If someone stole my black lighter, they're in trouble. Okay.
I think you're live.
You think I'm live?
It's hard to say anymore.
Okay, well, hey. Yeah, I know there's not even a light on this little camera dealio anymore. Was that the sound of liveness?
Yep.
Yay! There's the sound. I must be live. Hey, it's Gussy Dupp. Well, I know it's a little past 4:20, but we here at the Covenstead today, we were just all so busy doing our things that we lost track of time. And it's funny because quite a few of us were actually commenting on 4:20 today, so it's ludicrous really that I looked up and it was 4:30 already and none of us realized. So we're just, we're ish witches. We can do this a little bit later. It's 4:20 somewhere, right? That's the old adage. So let me light my candle here and settle in for a reading for, did we change the date?
I didn't.
Oh, it's hard to get good help these days. This is Mist's job. May 11th, 2021. Today is a new moon, which is great because some people call it the dark moon. It doesn't matter either way, whichever one you want to refer to it as. But the new moon is a wonderful time to start with new intentions. Yeah. And this time, right now, like astrologically speaking, I'm no expert, but there is a lot of love in the air based on where the moon is and in which planets and blah, 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 which like I said, I'm no expert and I'm not about to try to explain that any further, but I do know that there is, if you are in a relationship of any sort, things are going to get sorted out quickly. It is time for us to pay attention to those serious love relationships. And excuse it, the way I phrase it this way, but as my mother used to say, bless her heart, rest her soul, shit or get off the pot. A lot of us make lots of excuses for our loved ones, why they behave a certain way, why they say certain things or act a certain way. Well, you know what? It is time for you to honor yourself. And if being around a certain particular person means that you feel less about yourself or somehow worse about yourself, you need to seriously ask yourself why you put you in that situation time and again. Those are the kind of toxic relationships that we are all trying to unload, unbaggage, unclaim, unwind, because it's not healthy. Those are not the healthy relationships that nurture you and help you grow into who you are. If anything, they hold us down, hold us back. And a lot of times, here's the key though, a lot of times those relationships are toxic because we're also playing a toxic role. Think about that for a moment. It's kind of one of those mind-boggling things, but the person that's treating you X way or Y way or Z way, whatever you want to call it, a person that is treating you whatever way, you are willing to be treated that way or you wouldn't put up with it over and over again. Make sense? Now, again, this is Gussy talking, and I'm no expert at any of these things. I just know what I know, and I know what Spirit tells me, and I know that there's someone out there that needed to hear that today a lot. Like, it feels like you're sitting on this, like, I don't know, you're so close to a new level of understanding for yourself that it's almost like I wish I could just right through the live stream so the energy could hit you, and maybe I can, because I do definitely feel like this is healing for someone, or at least starting the process of unwinding a relationship and allowing healing to take place there, and allowing that relationship to, it's weird. It's funny that this image should come to my purveyance here, but purview, come into my purview. But I see like at first I saw seaweed on the beach, but then I saw someone foraging. And, if you are a seaweed harvester, if you do take from the sea like that, typically we haven't at the Covenstead used it when it's sopping wet. We usually lay it out and let it dry a bit because it's just easier to work with. And I don't know, there's a time and a place to use wet seaweed, but that's not the point of this conversation. It's like when you are foraging and harvesting plants, a lot of times we'll wash them and then spread them out to dry. Okay, so that's where maybe the seaweed image came first. But we spread them out to dry, or we hang them upside down. But typically, a lot of us will spread them out and just let them get a little bit of breathable air first, right? That's where we are with some of our toxic relationships. I'm not saying, tonight's a new moon, why don't you go out there and just cut all ties with this person and, move on. No, what this is more about is just drawing your line in the sand and letting that plant life, letting that herb dry and see what you got to work with. Let that seaweed, evaporate out a little bit. See what's left over, what you got at the end. It doesn't mean cut all ties with this person, of course not. But it does mean allowing yourself to evolve to a point that you can let go of this pain and this anguish that's like perpetrated between the two of you. I know in some cases I might be talking about your mother, I might be talking about your brother, your friend, your lover. I'm not sure who I'm exactly talking to, but I do know that there are words that are being heard right now that needed to be heard. They needed to be spoken, and you need to hear them. And if you're that person, please let me know. Reach out to me and let me know if you need help with this, because I know this is not an easy process. But there are quite a few of you also, I can feel that actually you're like, yeah, no, this is good. I know who you're talking about, and this is what I needed to hear, because it's time for me to move on from me. It's time for me to claim who I am. Now, on this journey of being sovereign, it doesn't mean that we have to live our life separately from everyone like a hermit. Although indeed some people do choose that sort of life for themselves once they, progress on this spiritual path longer. But for most of us, we are here in this 3D life, and we are connected to people here by our heartstrings, and we are family, and we are tribe. And those are not those people just seem to automatically understand, and those are not the toxic folks I'm talking about. The ones I'm talking about are the ones that sabotage you as you go along, as you try to make new strides for yourself. They subtly sometimes straight up front, just ridicule or tear you down, or somehow make you feel less than good about yourself. These people come in all shapes and sizes and all forms and categories. And this is not about judging them. This is about asking you to take some time this week to really step back and think about that relationship and what role you play. Because you are not just a passive player in this particular theatrical production. Even if you are someone that's being gaslighted or victimized or whatnot, there's a level of understanding about yourself, about your own core self, that I'm hoping you'll start to hear, and it will start to generate some process and progress in there, because I know that there's been just this like churning and yearning and not really moving forward in any particular way. Push through that. You got this. It doesn't mean you have to